Hello and welcome Pain Tech News. International Women's Day is celebrated every year on March 8th. This year's theme is Women in Leadership. The theme celebrates the tremendous efforts by women around the world in shaping a more equal future and recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's start with this report from Sanaya.
Are you aware of issues women still face today? Well, for today's segment, I will inform you on obstacles women have to face because of their gender. Well, how are women still facing obstacles now? Although women have made progress, women still earn less on average than men. The gender stereotypes in the workplace is something many women have to deal with. Usually, they're looked at as weak or not able to do certain things just because of their gender or mindset. Being aware of your surroundings is something many women have to do no matter the time or place. You may also ask yourself why. Well, when you're cautious of your surroundings, it's easier for women to notice anything out of the ordinary. Plus, there are many problems with people trafficking and women being sexually harassed, raped, or assaulted. For the next part of the Women's History segment, I'll be talking about supporting women-owned businesses. Why should we support women-owned businesses? Well, working to build a women-owned business is stressful itself and it's even harder to find the support. The numbers of support for women-owned businesses that are successful are discouraging. But does that mean we should stop? No. We are now at the end of the Women's History Month segment. Reporting from Newark, New Jersey, I'm Sanaya for Pain Tech News.
Thanks for the report, Sanaya. Here's Wayne to introduce our next segment.
Thanks, Arlie. As this year's themes also highlight calls for women's rights for equal pay and an end to all forms of violence against women and girls, we proudly support these goals. Now here's Kiara with our next segment.
Good morning and welcome to Pain Tech News. In honor of Women's History Month, I would like to talk about the history of women's rights and specifically the women's suffrage movement. The movement for women's suffrage started in the 19th century. The three founders of this movement were Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Susan B. Anthony, and Lucretia Mott. In 1777, all states passed a law that took away women's rights to vote. But the three founders that I mentioned before fought for women's rights, and on August 18, 1920, the 19th Amendment granted women's rights to vote. Sadly, it only allowed white women to vote. By 1965, all women were allowed to vote. The first Women's Rights Convention took place in Seneca Falls, New York. This event lasted 2 days, and during this event, they discussed social, civil, and religious conditions of women's rights. Overall, the women's suffrage movement was a long fight for women to get the right to vote. Next, I wanted to focus on issues that women still face today. Today, women are still earning less than men. Women still experience sexism even though we can do male-dominated jobs. Sexual violence is also still a problem. 9 out of 10 sexual violence victims in the US are women. Although women's rights have made progress, we are still going through unfair and unequal things till this day. Well, that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me today in celebrating and acknowledging our strong women and our rights. Reporting from Newark, New Jersey, I'm Kiara for Pain Tech News. Bye.
Thanks, Kiara. That was great. Arlie, what else do we have?
Thanks, Wayne. Did you know that women stand at the front lines of the COVID-19 crisis as healthcare workers, caregivers, innovators, and community organizers, and as some of the most effective national leaders in combating the pandemic? Next, we have Lourdes with this special report.
Good morning, everyone. We are currently in the month of March, also known as Women's History Month. Therefore, we will be discussing the people that have consistently advocated for us. The ones that literally give us life. Women. The category is women. To start off, I'd like to introduce just a handful of our strong, independent women. You've probably heard of her, but Amelia Earhart. She became the first woman to fly solo as a pilot in 1932. Next, we have Margaret Thatcher. She became the first woman to hold the longest serving as a British Prime Minister. Dian Fossey, who is best known for her amazing observations of the gorillas of the Virunga Mountains. Who do you think came up with the first mathematical component to send the first men to the moon? Katherine Johnson. Or the person, or shall I say woman, who came up with the very basis of today's Wi-Fi, GPS, and Bluetooth communication systems. Hedy Lamarr. In addition, women have written thought-provoking plays, books, as well as poems. Great authors include Maya Angelou, Emily Dickinson, Flannery O'Connor, and so much more. Kamala Harris, who is currently the first Black woman to hold such a high-ranking position in office as Vice President. The mere fact that she is a woman is extraordinary on its own. Now, although women have broken down many barriers, went above and beyond to get to where they are now, they are still not on the same playing field as men. The gender barriers. Let's talk about it. For example, chefs. According to Haven's Life's blog, women get paid 78 cents to the dollar that men get paid. This means that women get paid $7,000 less per year compared to men, who are making about 25% more on average. Not to mention, currently 76% of chefs are males. There's not even an equal amount of representation. This just goes to say that without a doubt, gender gaps do exist in great numbers. Gender barriers influence everyday life and are constantly limiting women's access to success. However, we as women find a way. Michelle Obama once said, "There's no limit to what we as women can accomplish." And that is all, folks. I hope you were able to obtain some really substantial information from this. I'm Lourdes Pierre, reporting live from Newark, New Jersey for PT News.
Thanks, Lourdes. Wayne, what do we have for our final segment?
Well, Arlie, before I introduce our final report, I just wanted to mention that women leaders and women organizations have demonstrated their skills and knowledge to effectively lead the COVID-19 response in all other areas of our completed world. And we thank you. Here's Justin with our final segment of the day.
Hi, my name is Justin Jacob from Pain Tech News, reporting from Bloomfield, New Jersey. And since this month is Women's Empowerment Month, today I will be listing 5 ways you can impact women in your life today. The first way you can do it is support women-run businesses. Show your support for women in your community by investing in a business run by women. Do you know an organization or company where women hold the majority of all leadership roles? Consider investing, making a donation, or doing some shopping with them. Number 2, show your appreciation for the women in your life. Say thank you, give and accept compliments, and help out the women around you. Show the women in your life how much you appreciate them by sending them a thank you card, giving them a compliment, or simply telling them what they mean to you. Third thing is to support girls and women in crisis. Millions of girls are subjected to abuse, child labor, trafficking, child marriage, and other offenses. Your gift will go where it's needed most, protecting girls and women by equipping skilled local staff to offer training, education, counseling, medical care, small business loans, and other programs that reach women and girls as well as boys, helping to end the cycle of gender-based violence. The fourth thing to do is to compliment her mind and soul, not just her body. Women already get a lot of commentary about the way they look. If you're looking to compliment a woman, people suggest describing her insides rather than her outsides. Try to compliment a woman on something other than her looks once daily. They all like to be told they're beautiful, and they also love to hear that they are brilliant, kind, dedicated, and strong people. And the final way you can empower women in your life is to impact their health. Women report increased influence in their families and communities after receiving training or information from their local Reed Center on Healthcare, Family Planning, Domestic Violence, and Reproductive Rights. Almost all of the Reed Center users access health information and services that they would not otherwise be able to access. This has been a Pain Tech production. Thank you for tuning in.
Nice job, Justin, and thanks. Well, that's all the time we have for today. See you next time on Pain Tech News.